Well, in January 2014, we discovered, along with the rest of the world, the story of a young woman named Erika Langhart in an article from Vanity Fair. Erika was a healthy, successful, passionate young woman who had graduated with honors from American University and was looking forward to law school. But on Thanksgiving Day in 2011, at the age of 24, she succumbed to a fatal double massive pulmonary embolism. Nuvaring, a hormonal contraceptive manufactured by the pharmaceutical giant Merck, was cited as the cause of her death. A few months later, we also learned of her parents, Rick and Karen Langhart, who had decided to courageously turn down the settlement offered to them and other victims by Merck. Instead, they decided to become spokespersons to raise awareness of the dangers of hormonal contraceptives and try to make a difference so that other young women could have their lives and their health spared. We started talking with them to see ways we could work together on this common goal and raising awareness. We finished the movie and we decided to dedicate it in loving memory of Rick and Karen's daughter, Erika. Tonight, it is our honor and privilege to welcome Karen Langhart, Erika's mother. She made a special trip here today from Phoenix to be here for this event, and we're very touched by her generosity. And we'd like to invite her to the podium and help me welcome her as she would like to share a few words with us tonight.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. My husband Rick and I cannot begin to convey to Gerard and Anna and all of you who have contributed to the making of Natural Love Stories how much we appreciate your dedication of this film to our beloved daughter Erika and all of the other women who have lost their lives to these dangerous drugs. Your passionate and fearless efforts remind us of our wish for our daughter as she graduated from high school and our hope for her that she would venture out and make a difference in the world. These words were memorialized in the Durango, Colorado High School yearbook for Erika. We hope we have given you both roots and wings, care more than others think wise, risk more than others think safe, dream more than others think practical, and expect more than others think possible. You, natural womanhood, are doing precisely this for the benefit of an untold number of women and their families. Thank you. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. What you are making available to women goes far beyond planning pregnancies. It is providing women with the incredibly valuable facts about their bodies and allowing them the opportunity to not only plan their pregnancies, but also be exposed to the information necessary to enjoy a healthy body, mind, and soul. How we wish Erika had had access to this knowledge. We believe it would have saved her life. Erika was already taking on the world in her early 20s. I probably sound like I'm boasting about her, but I really can't help myself. She was on her way to doing so much good in this world. I just know this in my soul. She had graduated from American University, magna cum laude, and had already interned and worked with several senators and congressmen, as well as the Justice Department. She took an entire semester off from school when asked by Senator McCain to help run his presidential campaign in the fall of 2008 when she was just 21. She had already traveled to 36 countries, including an invitation to serve at the International Leadership Conference in China. She planned for a career in politics because, in her opinion, quote unquote, this country is in desperate need of honest politicians working to improve America, not themselves. She never got that chance. Erika lost her life to the Nuvaring on Thanksgiving Day 2011. It is still hard to believe, and we no longer believe in coincidences. The preceding 2 days to Erika's celebration of life in Washington, D.C., on December 10th at American University, the FDA was holding hearings about the very subject that killed Erika: the increased dangers of third and fourth generation contraceptives. Yaz, Ortho-Evra, and Nuvaring were slated to be studied and reviewed at these hearings. When we asked for the opportunity to speak at the public testimony portion of these hearings, we were told that we had not signed up in time. Our daughter was still alive when this deadline had passed. Only with the intervention of the senator were we allowed to speak at these hearings. It was painfully obvious that the words from the parents and families speaking at these hearings were neither considered or responded to. We believe the outcome was predetermined. In fact, it was later learned that several of the doctors on the voting committee had financial ties to the very pharmaceutical companies they were reviewing. From everything we have seen and experienced, it appears to us that Big Pharma is in control of the FDA. Most funding, in fact, comes from the very drug companies the FDA is charged to oversee. The proverbial fox guarding the hen house, in our opinion. It is impossible to convey the impact of a young woman losing her life so unnecessarily. One of the other mothers I have been working with comes close with a quote she includes at the bottom of each of her emails from Charles Dickens. And how can it be that in a world so full and busy, the loss of one creature makes a void so wide and deep that nothing but the width and depth of eternity can fill it up? Young women unnecessarily losing their lives is simply unimaginable. And yet these deaths continue to happen virtually unnoticed. My husband made the point that if all of the women who die each year from hormonal contraceptives died in one day, it would be the equivalent of 2 to 3 jumbo jets going down with all on board being killed. Then it would be noticed. But because these women are in essence silently being picked off one by one, the issue is essentially and tragically being ignored. We kept asking ourselves, how could this have happened? Aren't there policies in place to make sure it doesn't? We began to look into who and what could have had a hand in allowing these unnecessary deaths to happen. A group of women and parents formed an organization called Birth Control Wisdom. And here's what we came up with. Those who have their hand in these tragedies, obviously the FDA. What about the AMA? And medical organizations like ACOG, the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. What about the legal system? What about Congress? Trying to understand the doctor's role in these issues, we attended an ACOG conference that very next spring of 2012, and we were very troubled to observe that the conference was essentially put on by the pharmaceutical companies. It was there we learned that it is legal for Big Pharma to pay doctors to teach other doctors about the virtues of their drugs. Wow. I attended a day-long CME credit class about how hormonal contraceptives, especially third and fourth generation drugs, can be used to treat ovarian cysts in women. My first clue that there is a growing undercurrent of doctors, thank God, who do not accept the profit-making rhetoric being fed to them is when a doctor stood up at the end of this day-long class and, to paraphrase, said, "This is all very interesting. However, I have yet to see anything presented showing an actual reduction of ovarian cysts with this type of treatment." She, in fact, had conducted her own clinical study with 99% effectiveness of eliminating ovarian cysts in her patients by paying close attention to their cycles with diet modification. This doctor taught her patients how their bodies worked. Her findings were discounted at this class. I'm still in shock. This was the beginning of our understanding that, in general, the American healthcare system is primarily and sadly about selling sickness as opposed to promoting wellness. Profits over patients. This is unacceptable in our opinion, and I believe it must be in yours as well. We are so grateful for OBGYNs like Dr. Pilkington and all of the doctors supporting natural womanhood who are all truly caring for women. So what about the legal system? Within days of Erika's passings, we were asked if Erika's case could be taken to a jury trial so Merck could be held accountable. So strong was her case. Naively believing these lawyers actually cared and meant what they said, we agreed, but with the unequivocal stipulation that we would never settle, as we believe this is synonymous with allowing Merck to continue to profit at the expense of women's lives. They agreed, but in the final analysis, were furious with us because we refused to settle with Merck in the spring of 2014. It made us sick, literally. Ironically, Merck is continuing writing motions to dismiss Erika's case in just over a month from now, her case will be the last. It's gone. It's over. We no longer have legal representation, so Merck will continue their stampede over truth and justice. How about Congress? I'm sad to say that in our experience, we've been to DC many, many times. There are very few Congress members and senators who are actually acting in the best interest of Americans. Most just happily take the enormous amount of contributions given to them by Big Pharma. We didn't know that. Erika's boyfriend, a high-tech data analyst, looked into this issue and found that over 90% of Congress members accept healthy, and the pun is intended, contributions from Big Pharma on both sides of the aisle. Money apparently talks in the halls of Congress as well. So there we are, looking to the sources of the problem, the FDA, the AMA, the legal system, Congress, to help find a solution to the problem. Unfortunately, we have found out the hard way that the almighty dollar speaks far too loudly in these four arenas of power. So what's the answer? The only way we can see after nearly 4 years of searching to help make a difference is to reach and inform women and their families directly without the influence of money. Where we saw this might be able to happen is through the media, and in this day and age, social media. Our first introduction to nationwide media was with Vanity Fair magazine. One of Erika's classmates, Megan Henry, at American University, an Olympic athlete, nearly lost her life to the Nuvaring just a year after Erika. We were devastated that we had not somehow helped her to become informed. Through Megan's mom, a friend of the editor of Vanity Fair magazine, we were given the opportunity to work with an incredible investigative reporter for over 6 months to help with this in-depth report, which was published in spite of pressure from the outside in December of 2013. The very following month, we began working with CNN Anderson Cooper 360 on a 3-night special report about Megan and Erika and the issue. The producers were amazing and dedicated. It was ready to be aired that year in March. This was precisely the timing of Merck's announcement of a settlement reached for the Nuvaring, and it was critical for them to get enough plaintiffs to sign on to the settlement. Obviously, the CNN report would be very detrimental to their goal. Unbelievably, this 3-night special was not aired until over a year later, after Merck was successful in convincing over 95% of plaintiffs to settle. Just one of these 3 segments was aired in the final analysis. The report slated for nights 2 and 3, which were focused on scrutinizing Merck, the FDA, the AMA, and Planned Parenthood, were all scrapped. I'll let you guess why. On the other hand, we also had the opportunity to begin working with Ricky Lake, Abby Epstein, and Holly Griggs-Spall in January of 2014 to help with the making of a documentary titled Sweetening the Pill. This film just recently received the support of nearly 2,000 ordinary people and nearly $200,000 in no strings attached funding, including a generous donation from Gerard and Anna. Ricky, Abby, and Holly are free to tell women and their families the truth, just as Gerard and all of you supporting natural womanhood are in the Natural Love Stories documentary. I am very sorry to have to tell you about an incredibly sad update from the Sweetening the Pill film. A close friend of the film's editor died just last Friday from the Nuvaring. She is devastated. The info did not reach her friend in time. An 11-month-old child now has no mother. We believe the only way to make a real difference for women is to inform through documentaries, websites, and social media which have not been funded by corporations looking out for their own profits at the expense of women's health. This is precisely what Natural Womanhood is accomplishing with this film. Another quote which speaks the truth to us is this: "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." This quote describes the efforts of Natural Womanhood perfectly. Thank you, Gerard and Anna, and thank you to all of you who have made this film a reality, for helping to change the world in a positive way. Knowledge is power. No matter how smart and how well informed women are in every other aspect of their lives, women simply do not know what they do not know. You are giving women and their families the gift of knowledge, helping them to enjoy a healthy body, mind, and soul, which I believe allows them the freedom to then inspire yet others. You are not only improving lives, you are saving lives. Thank you from the bottom of my heart and from the hearts of so many others. Thank you.